called me before 5 to go.
That's it. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the March 9th, 2020 East Ascension Drainage Meeting to order. Mr. Turner is at work. All the members are present. We're going to go ahead. Mr. Johnny, would you start with the invocation followed by the pledge?
Thank you. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on this meeting as we gather to do the business of the people of Ascension Parish. We ask that you protect us this year and at all times from disastrous flooding and storms. We ask this through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with Ms. Liz. Going to number 4, the acceptance of minutes for the January 27th meeting.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Johnson,
Second.
second by Mr. Chase. Just under the chairman's reports and announcements, I wasn't able to make it to DC, but a lot of other, and the parish president made it. If anyone wants to speak on anything, more than glad to take that comment, or I know there's good things on the way. So I didn't know if you had anything, parish president, or.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It was a very successful trip. We had the opportunity to meet with our senators and our congressmen and representatives. Just getting a opportunity to get with them and let them know the important projects we're working on, giving them a little information about what specific projects that we're aiming for, and then getting a little feedback from them. And so overall, I thought it was real positive. Obviously, we wish the entire council could have been there. I thought it was just a great opportunity for conversation and talking about where we were headed. But yeah, it was a great opportunity and a very successful trip.
Appreciate that. With that, we'll move on to drainage report. Mr. Ron?
Yeah, we'll keep it kind of short tonight. Just in recent weeks, we've been meeting about the Watershed Initiative program. We'll be meeting on the 11th, and the steering committee has now been established, and I'll be sitting on that, and the alternate would be Mr. Mike Enlow. On the 20th of March, we'll have the first steering committee of Region 7 at Southeastern, so we'll be attending that, and we'll definitely get the feedback and report to you guys what we find at those meetings. Also, they recently reached out last Friday and had a webinar about the possibility of submitting another USGS gauge site from each parish. So we looked at our current gauges. We have several of them throughout the parish, and they're really good, produce really good data for us. But one area that we thought would be a good option would be Bayou Conway at Blind River. We currently don't have one at that particular site to monitor surge tides. We have one on Panama Canal at Highway 44, but we don't have one down in of that basin at that Blind River deal. So we'll be submitting that, and we'll certainly give you guys, as I said, all the feedback from that. Work order system data has been merged in. I got to commend all of our divisions within the department, have done a lot of work getting that info in there, and now we are in the point of meeting with the consultant, bringing them in for training, and grouping data to find it, report it, and get information out to where we can start getting these board reports to you guys. That will take some time to get all of that established and data coming out in the format to present to you guys at these meetings. Other than that, we'll go into day-to-day operations. You guys got any questions or concerns, you feel free to contact the call center or contact me. We'll go into that. I don't think we need to go into details on them. And that's about all I got.
Mr. Joe? Mr. President?
I just wanted to comment on that gauge possibility location at Conway and Blind River. That would give us a good indication of when we turn on the pumps, what possible impact or no impact that may cause. So it may be important data on how we affect other parishes down the way. So also in protecting Pelican Point, that area, Sorrento. Those are important areas that are affected by storm surge in that area. So I would support that location. Thank you.
Mr. Gore,
Nothing.
Mr. Aaron,
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Mr. Chase. We good? Anything else, Ron?
No, sir, that's it.
All right, appreciate that. We'll move on to number 7, general business. Have a resolution for the hazard mitigation grant program. Ms. Martha Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. It's a pleasure to be before you this first time, so we're bringing money, so that's always good. But on this one, it is for an elevation project that we were funded to build upgrade 2. So we're here tonight to ask you to, the East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1, to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the homeowner, because they are the ones that are paying the match, for the elevation of Site 3-819 in the amount of $112,235, for which 75-25 split between the homeowner and the federal government in accordance with FEMA regulations and no cost to the parish, and to authorize the parish president, Clint Whitmore, to sign and execute all
Motion to approve.
documents.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Terry, second by Mr. Johnny. Any discussion? Any opposition to the motion? Not, motion passed. B, another resolution. Ms. Collins.
Same thing, this is a different site, sir.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Terry, second by Mr. Chase.
Well,
Any questions, comments, any opposition? Not, motion passed. And also C, Ms. Martha.
Number 3, this is actually the hazard mitigation grant that was for the Sorrento pumping station upgrade. It's $4277. It's a different application. And we would like to request the East Ascension Consolidated Drainage District to approve and move forward with the Sorrento pumping station upgrade Phase 1 in the amount of $555,294, which is a 75-25 local match, of which $138,823.50 in accordance with the FEMA guidelines, and to authorize the parish president to go into this agreement.
Motion.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Joel. Any questions, comments? Any opposition? None. Motion passed.
Thank you, gentlemen
Thank
and
you, Ms.
ladies.
Martha.
Thank you.
D is an authorization. Mr. Enlow.
Good evening. This is authorization to develop and advertise an RFQ for the Phase 1 pre-construction activities associated with the Sorrento pump station upgrades, which Ms. Martha just spoke about. Specifically, we're looking to get started, I believe this covers the H&H modeling that would need to be done, and we need to make sure we procure this correctly according to all the federal guidelines, and so that's why we're going out for this RFQ.
Motion.
Second.
By Mr. Aaron, second by Mr. Johnny. Any opposition or any questions? None. Motion
Thank you.
passed. E, amendment number 7, Mr. Davin DePlessis.
Amendment number 7 to the roadside ditch maintenance contract with On Grade to increase the contract by additional $2 million. Contract total not to exceed $7,250,000.
Making a motion,
Is that gonna, shouldn't that go out to bid for $2 million?
no,
It's already been out.
it's already been bid out.
It's existing contract.
Continuing the contract. Well, I make a motion.
Second.
But we have a motion and second. Discussion. Mr. Chase?
Hey, David. Hey, do we see a
Benefit.
near end to our contractor? Like, I mean, we're what, 5.2 deep already? We're looking for another 2?
I think toward maybe August, September. I mean, we went from 500 and something tasks, work all the way down to 112, 120, right in
Okay.
that little area. But I want to commend the in-house little group we got also. Got a group of 4 people, and they bust tail just like the on grade does.
Yeah.
I just want to compliment them also.
Mr. President?
So when we were taking a look back at what we achieved under these contracts, we noticed we got a considerable amount of our on-road ditches dug, but we want to go ahead and utilize this hopefully last 2 million as we transition, and to go ahead and piece this together with a very detailed plan of where exactly we're going to spend this money and connecting all the ditches. So hopefully this is the end phase of that in a very detailed way of connectivity as well as very specific ditch digging. So as we transition more back and as we've caught up, we'll go ahead and start pulling some of our off-road crews back on to on-road ditch digging as well as we transition here. So yes, we are getting to that point. Now it's really about the connectivity and detailed ditch digging.
Mr. Aaron?
And I think, Mr. President, you alluded to this, that some sort of plan. I know for years we've talked about that. Is this a precursor to developing a plan and moving, for on-road ditches only, moving away from just relying on work orders?
I think that originally and a lot of you were there and voted on this, originally this was a item to where this was really of a catch-up type atmosphere. And so the maintenance program would certainly benefit from this. And as we start to discuss what that looks like and how that develops, it would certainly add to this. But I think that this has been a great precursor to that, allowing us to get a lot done in a very short period of time. And now it's time to capitalize on these improvements and therefore push it forward. So I think this is a great precursor to that, yes.
Okay, good. What I'd like to see, and I'm not going to set a timeline or anything, but just to come to us with that plan. I know we've talked about it for years. I know it's harder to do on off-road ditches, but definitely the on-road ditches. So we can start getting to that system where people don't have to rely on calling in. They just know that in this month, you're probably going to have your ditch cleaned, and that we can put that out there. So I know this is that first step because we were so far behind. And I tell you, our crews, their crews have done a great job catching us up. And I know it's not easy, so I commend everybody for that. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Mr. Corey?
Mr. President, do we have a map or any sort of a chart that we could refer to see which roadside ditches have been maintained, which ones have been dug, where we're going in the future, where our needs are? Is there anything in existence that we could look at?
We've been in conversations with Ron Savoy about developing that. It has not been done up to date. And so we've been talking about it over the last month of getting to that point. And I think that's moving to a GIS system about all the things that we've talked about and very getting data-driven on exactly what we're doing. So it's going to require a good shift of personnel and culture into getting data-driven like that, and that's not existed before. And so we're in talks of what that's going to look like, and we would like to come back to y'all with plans on developing that system and getting that data-driven department. So we've had discussions about it, but we do not currently have one, no.
And again, just curiosity, we've spent $5 digging these ditches. Does anyone know which ditches have been dug and confirming that they've done the work that we've paid them for? I don't have an answer to that. So.
Yes, we've got that, sir, from the origination of the contract, which started at $250,000. And every road that was dug is on a spreadsheet, the amount of feet that was dug and how much it cost. In addition to that, the driveways that needed to be addressed, there's a complete list of that data in there. So yes, sir, there is a complete tracking of the work. and is detailed from the origination of how we told them the invoices. It's $7 a linear feet for the ditch digging, and that's how the invoices come in. And matter of fact, we almost predetermine that because we go out and pre-measure the streets and get the footage in-house. And when we issue the task order, when Davin and his guys issue those task orders, the amount of linear feet per street is on that task order. So when the invoices come back, you're comparing to what they've already set as the metrics in place to quality control this. And then they're keeping it up. Ms. Liz does a great job
Yeah.
of tracking that along with finance.
So great. So it wouldn't be very difficult to take that spreadsheet and convert that onto a map so that we can see
Yes, sir.
what we have
Look,
and where we're going.
I really think, and I'll get with IT on this, and see what the capabilities are, with the merge from the previous work order system to this new one, and see what we can come up with. And I'll try to do my best to get something at the next meeting for you guys
Perfect.
to look at.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Terry, you got something?
I'm good.
Anything else? Appreciate that, Davin, and continue the good work on that. We have a motion and a second on it. No opposition. Motion passed. We'll move on to 8, approval. Ron, you have it?
Yes, sir. This is approval of a balancing change order number 1 for project number EAD 19004, Pelican Point Parkway Cross Drain Repair for a reduction to Quartz
Motion.
Construction.
Moved by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Aaron. Discussion. Any opposition? None. Motion passed.
Time for a reduction.
It's another approval. Ron?
This is the same contract, approval of substantial completion of
Motion.
project.
Second by
Second.
Mr. Aaron, second by Ms. Terry. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passed.
Motion to
Ms.
enter
Terry?
into executive session.
We have one
We
more.
skipped
Oops, I'm
One
sorry.
more,
That's-
one
I
more,
missed
I'm
one.
sorry. I'm sorry. Approval, and that is Ron also.
This is approval of wetland mitigation contract between Weyerhaeuser Inor Company and East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1 in the amount of $206,000 for the New River Channel Improvements, project number EAD 15004, and authorization of Parish President Clint Quintmont to sign and execute all documents needed.
Motion by Mr. Johnny,
Second.
second by Mr. Chase. Any discussion? You okay? Any opposition? Motion passed. We'll go to I, executive session.
Motion, we go into executive session.
Roll call, Ms. Secretary.
Commissioner Robert,
Yes.
Commissioner Oregon.
Where's your wrong?
Where's your wrong?
Where's your wrong?
Commissioner, yes. Commissioner Malonzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawler,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cazzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagisback,
Oregon
Yes.
State.
Commissioner Cagnolati,
Yes.
Commissioner Mesa,
Yes.
and Chairman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Motion passed.
that big. Yeah. Teach them.
They don't want their hands.
They don't want to catch these hands. That's all they want.
I say we turn Martha Mason loose on them.
I was gonna say, we always go to their council meeting like, what? A dance hall? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. This was all executive.
Yeah, mine's in there, sir.
Yeah, do mine.
He told us
told us we could take them home.
take them out.
It's all public
Just don't share it.
Right? Good reading material.
he said it's all public.
Yeah, I mean,
You good, keep it.
I'm sure you read material.
You said what?
Y'all didn't memorize it already?
John, we didn't lose John, huh?
No, we got John.
We're on.
Waiting on us there.
The cameraman.
Oh. I'd like a motion to re-adjourn.
Motion reconvened by Mr. Chase,
Second.
second by Mr. Joel. There was no action on the executive session. Will be updated at the next meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
The made, moved by Mr. Johnny to
Second.
adjourn, second by Mr. Michael.
Let's give us 10 minutes before